everyone, it's Dee Dee with Aller Cuisine here today we have such an incredible special guest for you. You're not even gonna be able to stand it. This is Miss Charity Chapman.
Hello.
And she is our fabulous singer-songwriter and a food allergy mom. I'm pulling up her bio now. I had it up, but it just went blank. That's what happens when you're live, right? It's always something. She is a singer-songwriter, food allergy mom who's here to kind of share her story, her journey, her frustrations, her challenges, her successes, her wins, and kind of give us all hope, especially for all of you moms who are out there right now, kind of living the struggle. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. Definitely, yes.
Struggle is real.
Yeah.
A little background on Charity. We are here in Fort Collins, Colorado, and this is where Charity grew up until she went away to school at Pepperdine University and got her bachelor's in music, vocal performance to be specific. Then she stayed in LA, pursued her musical career. One of her great claims to fame was writing the song If I Could Fly, which is the X Factor official song, right?
It was a segment theme song for the X Factor. So kind of when you're going through the next round, they play it. They played it, yeah. So
they
was great.
Fly on to the next
so
round.
They fly on, they move on. Some of them are sad. There's a lot about crying in there. It's great. So it all worked.
That is so sweet. And then she has 2 CDs, independent CDs that are published. And so you can always check those out. We'll give you
iTunes,
the names of those later. And let me tell you, they're fabulous. I've listened to a couple of the songs on there. It's really nice. Oh, you're welcome. She also, what is this Don't Give Up showcased? I need help
this wouldn't make much sense, but there's a ASCAP is the songwriter sort of where you put you register your songs. So I had a song showcased at their expo.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was pretty cool too.
And then you opened for someone at the Verizon Amphitheater?
Yes, on the small stage at the Verizon Amphitheater, I opened
You
for
didn't have to say that. They
Sheryl
would never
Crow.
have known.
Sheryl Crow and Pink.
On a small stage, Sheryl Crow and Pink?
Yes, they were on the big stage. I was on the small stage, but we were still there on the same day playing, so that was pretty great too.
That's pretty awesome.
Really fun. So I'm gonna see how much what I can do with music back in my hometown.
Here in Fort Collins. We're here, and she's also my daughter's vocal coach. So look for Shelby Taylor soon, up and coming
she's
vocalist.
Gonna be really good.
And this is my book
She's
club buddy.
good.
So we're book club buddies. That's how we know each other. And it's been a fun growing friendship, which is awesome. And so through the book club, we bring food, we drink wine. That's what we do at book club. Through all of that. Hi, whoever's watching. I can't see your name, but thanks for joining us this morning. And before we continue, quick, just want to shout out. We've got people in Australia tuning in, people in France tuning in, people in South America tuning in, all over Europe, in the UK, lots of people in the UK. So we want to say hi to all of our friends who aren't here in the United States, and thank you so much for supporting us.
Yes, hi.
All of that. It's really exciting. But through book group, we bring a lot of food, and so because this is what I do, I always ask if anybody has any food allergies, and Charity shared with me that her son has multiple food allergies and life-threatening food allergies. So talk to me about how you found out how this all came about in your life.
Sure, and I started already getting hot and heated when I was talking to Dee Dee about it because the subject makes me so mad. So then she's like, you know what, you should come on my show and talk about this. So I think that when I've talked to a lot of moms that they feel the same way. It's just such a debilitating thing. It also is very maddening. The answers are really lean, hard to find. So when Cole was 3, literally the first day I took him to preschool, he got chronic ear infections. So like 35 in a row. I mean, just one. While he'd be having an ear infection, he'd be on antibiotics. He'd be working on another one at the same time. Like one would already be starting before we'd finish the antibiotics.
The same issue with Shelby.
So just unreal level of antibiotics and doing that. And I just, they kept saying, oh, this is what's normal. This is what happens to kids. It did not seem normal to me. By the time we got him into kindergarten, he was missing quite a bit of school. The infections were getting worse, so he had pneumonia in kindergarten, and then chronic bronchitis, ear infections, missed a lot of kindergarten, first grade, second grade. By second grade, he was kind of like a vegetable, was sort of gray, very chronically ill, always blowing his nose. The poor thing, he was just a mess. And we're like, there has to be something. I mean, what Western medicine offered me did not seem to be finding the answers. So we started our great foray into what I say is opening the window and throwing your money out as you go to the herbalist, chiropractors, multiple chiropractors, anything you can find. You'll try anything, chakra healers, whatever can possibly work. I think we did. Then we went to one of the first of the kind, because that was 5 years ago. So an MD who's an osteopath. So she went around and felt underneath his body, like while he would lay down. And then it was kind of interesting. Then she'd say, oh, he had a really bad ankle injury here, which was pretty crazy because he did. From playing soccer a couple of years before. So that was surprising. We're like, And then I said, well, can you run a food allergy test? So that's 5 years ago. And that was really kind of the first start of that happening, a blood test. And he came back with 37 food allergies. So she's like, I mean, it was everything. It was all kinds of protein, blueberries, broccoli, dairy, all, duck eggs, chicken eggs, quail eggs, everything that you could eat, all protein, beef, chicken. So I'm like, basically, we should just like open the grave and put him in, because what are we going to feed him? I mean, grass, like he's probably allergic to grass. So that's where we were. I was so mad. And I'd fought it for so long because I love to cook. And my mom was a gourmet chef, so she's Italian. We had, every meal was like the 3-meat meal. We'd have ham and meatballs and then turkey. And then, it was kind of the Italian Julia Childs at my house. It was so fabulous. All these different meals. So I'd always done that for my kids. And then now I knew restrictions were on the horizon. So we fought it for a couple of years when people mentioned before, like kindergarten, do you think he has a food allergy? I'm like, no, it's not possible. It's not possible. And all of that too, that was very avant-garde then. That's 7 years ago. So that was just like the start of the food allergy conundrum, I would say. And where it all comes to, I don't know why, but we can get to that in a second.
No, my daughter was never tested because that's not what you did.
Because
my daughter's, y'all know, she's older. It just, you didn't have food allergy tests. The doctor said, she's allergic to this. And I said, okay.
Or they said, my doctor said, we don't believe in that. Oh yeah, even in California, they were like, oh, that food allergy thing, that's just a phase. It's not real. So, even having that, it's like, okay. So at 2, we finally did that when he was in 2nd grade, we did that test. And then we were like, okay, well, we're screwed. What are we going to do with 37 foods? And my friend said, oh, you've got to go see this chiropractor. And I'm like, we've done chiropractors. And basically, I think he probably gave the same formulaic opinion to everyone who came in the door, which was, don't eat dairy, wheat, or eggs. So we pulled him off dairy, wheat, and eggs 5 years ago. And he improved immediately. He started going from like a gray-green color to just each week he got more colored like a normal human.
He looks like a normal human
now.
He
looks like a normal human. He does look normal, of course, that thing. And then at 5 years ago, they didn't have char bread and Be Free and all the choices that they have now. So it was just, we had rice and beans and chicken. They didn't have gluten-free tortillas. You had corn tortillas. That was it. No cheese, no vegan cheese, none of that kind of thing. So we did that. I'd still say it's a process because he has continually had chronic sicknesses. So I'm not sure that we've even gotten all of them, the food allergies. We have these 3 that are maybe. Now we're starting the process again. So we're starting over. I figure hopefully the equipment, the knowledge has improved. So we're starting the whole testing thing again now.
Okay.
And we just did the skin test.
Okay. And when do you get the results?
The skin test is immediate.
Okay.
So it looked like he's allergic to, trees and grasses, and they diagnosed him with an oral pollen allergy.
Which a lot of people confuse for food allergies. By the way, we talked about this, and some of y'all moms got really, really mad at me. But that's what happens, is we think it's a food allergy, but it's a pollen allergy. I told you it was real.
It's real. So he's on some nasal shoot-up medication and seems to be getting better. And it was just like, as we were leaving, he said, oh, by the way, avocados make my throat itch. So I guess I'm allergic to those. And he said,
no.
That's a classic food allergy. Oral pollen allergy. So we've started with the treatment of that. So I actually think it is possible that he may not even have food allergies. Like this whole experience, which will make me so mad, but if that's possible, it may be all of these environmental allergies, coupled with maybe some other things going on. We're going to get the blood test back next week. The IgA, the IgG, IgE, all those things to see what's going on in there.
We'll update you guys when we get that food.
Yes, when we get that, I'll let you know.
Because I'm telling you, these seasonal allergies, the oral allergy syndrome, it is real. And what happens is, and we've talked about this before, for those of you who didn't tune in before, the pollens react with the food, and your body interprets it as it would a food, and it reacts like a food allergy, even though it is not a food allergy, it's a pollen allergy. You have the same symptoms. Anaphylaxis is real. Turning gray and green is real. But the way we treat it is different. If you avoid the food, that's not always gonna help. You gotta treat the pollen. And there are certain times of the year where that food's gonna be safe when those pollens aren't floating through the year. So you can eat a strawberry now, and then in 6 months you eat a strawberry and you react to it. And it's not because you suddenly became allergic to strawberries. It's about the pollens and the way they interact with food and the way your body interprets that and deciphers that. I just want to put that caveat out there so everybody's clear and understands.
He didn't even explain that, so that's already crazy.
See?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's called cross-reactivity in foods. Cross-reactivity between pollens and foods.
Okay.
And birch is one of the highest. It's a big culprit, that birch tree, so don't have them in your yard.
Okay, yes. Or in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, they have aspens. We're good. We just have aspen
cut them down. There's a lot of trees out here, so that's
Hi,
kind
Yvonne.
of a problem.
How are you? I hope you are well. It's a friend from Florida.
Okay. I don't know how you're seeing all these people, but that's awesome.
She pops up right there. See, Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne.
And see, here we have two that are watching on their laptops. We don't know who they are. Now it's just one.
So fun. Okay, so that's where we are with that, and then
challenges.
Talk to
me about, because these moms get so frustrated, and I see them and hear them every day on Facebook.
Yes,
they're losing their minds about this one, not respecting and not believing their kid has a food allergy, or going out to dine and being offered.
Yeah, always so it was really hard when he was 8. Because back in LA at that time, you could bring, there were cupcakes every day at school. Mm-hmm. So at that point, it literally someone was having a birthday in the school at that point. So there was all this junk around, but Cole he knew enough that he was so sick and so sickly that he knew, and he's always been really good about that, not cheating. Mm-hmm. So because he just knows he's going to be so sick.
Right.
So he feels it and he's miserable. Like he was the kid who sat at his desk with a box of Kleenex and a trash can underneath. In 2nd grade, he had his own little setup. It was pretty sad. So, and that sort of has followed him around. That's sort of, I don't ever think we've gotten to the bottom of this. So it seemed like he gets worse when he eats these things, but now it's maybe kind of nebulous. Maybe it isn't. It's 2 to 4 day response for Cole. Mm-hmm. Usually, unless it's something way over the top, he will start sneezing, blowing his nose, coughing immediately after.
Right.
That does happen too. So I'm actually not sure. What we asked the allergist, one of the doctors, we're doing a 2-doctor approach to try to figure out. One is a regular doctor who embraces alternative somewhat, and then the other one is a classic allergy specialist. Okay. So we are seeing both of these guys, and then I think they're going to recommend entirely different things. One, the MD has already said, it's leaky gut. Leaky gut, that's what it is. We just fix the leaky gut, but he'll probably still always have food allergies. So I said, well, that's not what I'm looking for. And the other thing at the beginning, they always told me that it was asthma. So then that was the big thing. It's asthma, it's asthma, it's asthma. So when I went to the doctor later on for his checkup, like wellness checkup in 3rd grade, and we hadn't been in a couple of years, she said, well, how's the asthma going? I'm like, well, I don't think it's asthma. I'm not doing that. And she goes, well, my kid has asthma, and just because he has asthma doesn't mean that I don't want to give him the medication. I still have to give him the medication. I'm like, you go on ahead. But as long as my kid doesn't eat these food, he doesn't have asthma. So, I don't know what to say. She was very flummoxed too. She's like, well, this is kind of maddening for me because I have to give my kid the medication, but yet you don't. So I don't know. At this point, at least, we have been able to have him stay off any asthma medication. Mm-hmm. He's done with the nebulizer. All that was during the ear infection time.
We did lots of nebulizers.
Lots of nebulizers.
Lots of Barney sitting on the couch. Nebulizer.
Yeah. And now we're over with that. So I have to say, even if those foods aren't the actual foods, something in there was aggravating, I think, him. So pulling those out made him better. It just didn't make him great.
I'm so glad you brought up leaky gut. And I will tell you why. I'm not saying your son has leaky gut. Please do
No,
not
it
misunderstand.
could be.
But when you have food intolerances and food allergies, they do disrupt the lining, stomach lining, and
Very true.
it can cause leaky gut. And so it's absolutely something to look at. And once you heal the food allergies and you start eating the right kinds of foods, then the leaky gut can heal. So y'all can do some more research on that. I can post more stuff on that along with the cross-reactivity afterwards so that you have that information. But they sometimes go hand in hand, and it isn't always one or the other. Sometimes it's a combination.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we might see that when we get these results back. You know, if there is, I don't know. I don't think you can see leaky gut.
It's symptomatic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You can't tell. It's one of those
symptomatic.
nebulous diseases like fibromyalgia.
And it's like, you do the whole 30, right? You take off whole 30 and then all of a sudden you can kind of reintroduce and figure out what's going on. It's that kind of process from my understanding. I could be wrong. It's happened before.
Rare though. She helped me with my daughter
Put it on
as
the
well.
calendar.
So my daughter
Hi,
was
Shelby. We were just talking about you. You missed it.
Yes, no, what a great singer you are. She helped me with my daughter as well. So they recommended pulling off gluten after she was hearing some of my daughter's symptoms, and it has changed everything. Absolutely everything. My daughter is now a little girl instead of a sickly kid, chronic sick. She's missed so much school. We're in the 30 days count, at least of school. So this has been huge that we have that.
Shelby just gave Charity a whole bunch of high fives, so it's very sweet.
Yes,
we love when you guys interact with us, by the way.
That's great
So
to
you
see
need
you
to
up
press
there.
buttons, press hearts, press thumbs up. It's fun.
It's great. So that's where we are. The challenges we face are eating out. That's a miserable experience, typically for him and for us. Back in the day, it was, do you have anything gluten-free? And people didn't even know what that was. This is better now, but it's still less available here in Colorado than it was in LA. In LA, food allergies are much more accepted, I would say. So the big cities, we do better in big cities than we do. We did a lot of traveling. And I remember when we came across the United States, there were times where Cole had a baked potato with nothing on it. Salt, that's all, because there was nothing in the restaurant he could eat, and we were not near anything, and there was no store, and he'd done all the granola bars. There's only so many safe granola bars you can eat. I mean, my kid has so many foods he's eaten thousands of times over, he just can't even eat them anymore. He's just done with them. That's me with 5 bars. I cannot eat another 5 bar.
A new one is coming out. It's called Boco Bar, made here in Fort Collins, and it's so good.
Okay, all right.
So good. The Boco Bar. When it's out, I will let you know.
Okay.
You guys look for them. It's so good.
I'm suspicious
It's
of
vegan,
any bar.
It's vegan, vegetarian,
Gluten-free.
Yeah, they were supposed to showcase at the Nourish Festival in Denver in 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. Y'all can win free tickets, by the way, if you sign up from a newsletter to the Nourish Festival in Denver. Gluten-free, allergy-friendly playground. Little shameless plug right there for you.
Right there, yes. It's awesome.
But they couldn't get their production in time. One of their machines went down, so
Coming.
Oh, but they're so good. They're so good. I'm in a Toastmasters with her.
Oh yeah.
So I was hungry one day and she gave me one.
Yeah.
God, this is fabulous.
Awesome. I mean, your kid gets tired of those not having real food.
Yeah.
You just can't find real food. So now we're at the point where we pretty much stay Mexican because Mexican is one of the safer places for him to eat. You can do beans, the rice, but you have to make sure they don't spray the pan with butter, which sometimes they do before they cook the rice. Beans are typically safe. And then corn tortillas, because those don't have flour. And then chicken, but you have to make sure that the chicken doesn't have seasoning on it that has whey, which is snuck into some kind of garlic seasonings as well. So
Whey
those are
is a
tricky
sneaky,
things.
sneaky
Whey
little
is
thing.
very sneaky, and that will make him very sick at this point. So that's typically what we've gone. The other thing is Greek. That's harder to find, especially when you're traveling. Greek food is still a little out there. But he can do that's hummus and chicken. So he'll eat hummus and chicken together. So he does a lot of protein. I wish he loved vegetables, but one of the things that makes me super disgusted is when I'll say, well, do you have a gluten-free menu? And they'll say, there's tons of salads on here. I'm like, he's a kid. What kid eats salads? I mean, my daughter will eat a salad, but she's unusual. He has never, ever.
And she's a girl.
And she's a girl. I don't know what to say.
Sorry,
I don't
not
know.
to be sexist, but it's true.
But he pulls out a salad and he's literally almost in tears. Like, this is what you have. And he's just like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I don't know when that changes. I don't know what the shift time is, but that is very hard eating out. Going to people's houses, I have to bring his own food. So, and then people will sometimes they will get very aggressive about it. I can make him something. No, really, honestly, it's too hard. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And people used to try to make up something at the
don't
front.
understand cross contact.
If they don't understand the
they
food
don't get
allergy
it.
thing,
Yeah.
it's a disaster. He's gotten sick many times when we've done that.
Yeah.
So it's just safer for me to bring stuff, but often we actually leave him at home now because he's big enough. Because it's just not fun. And he said, it's all this food I can't eat. It's not fun for me. And because everything about our society so revolves around food.
It does. And wine.
And wine, don't forget. And wine.
This is not wine. This is just tea.
Just decaf.
Give me another 2 hours and it could be some wine.
And we're sad we're only decaf. So that is that's a drawback too in socializing, because group gatherings are the best. And I mean, I know that's some with other kids too. His experience, then slowly he doesn't want to go. And I kind of can't blame him.
Yeah.
So those are some of the challenges that we faced growing up with a kid from little to now 14. In that time span of what's happened. Birthday parties, some we just skipped because some of them were really just about eating pizza, cake, and ice cream, none of which he can have. So he would just not go, you know. So those were hard to get through. I know people will say with kids with challenges that makes them more sensitive, and I do feel like Cole is more sensitive to suffering. I think because he's experienced his own, like he's had kind of very empathetic, long-term sickness, chronic sickness, and he's his heart goes out. I can kind of tell when we talk about, or when you hear something about a kid who's sick or something, he has more sensitivity to it. If I could think of that would be one good thing that has come out of it. I don't have a big list for the good things that have come out of it, I'm sorry to say, at this time. But that is, that's a good thing. Maybe we've eaten healthier over the last 5 years because we didn't eat dairy, wheat, and eggs. At the beginning, I was sneaking food and hiding it in the garage because they would find it.
I think all moms do that, especially like with chocolate.
It was awful.
We steal the Halloween chocolate and we hide it.
I would hide brownies in things like in the garage because if they come across it, he'd just be like, "How unfair! How unfair!" You know, which is just, you just feel bad for him. So, and then I would also sneak out of the house to sometimes like go get macaroni and cheese, you know, regular food, as I say. He's better about it now, but he still feels like it's an injustice. An injustice has occurred when some delicious item comes into the house.
And then he can't have.
And he can't have it.
Yeah. And I completely get that.
I totally get that. I understand it. We try to be sensitive about it. One of our food groups at home, which you might want to explore, is dark chocolate. That is actually a food group at our house. We have a drawer full of dark chocolate.
It's true. We went to the movies once and she brought a chocolate bar. It's the truth.
It
goes really well with popcorn.
And wine.
And wine.
Yeah.
And we went to a really good
We
theater.
did a really good theater. So I highly recommend dark chocolate because it can be just a lifesaver. I mean, when other kids are having treats, you can pull out a dark chocolate bar. And I mean, he's technically eating better stuff. I mean, there actually is some nutritional value to dark chocolate.
A lot. Antioxidants, like nobody's business.
All that stuff.
And it's an endorphin booster.
There you go.
I'm a fan.
I'm a way fan. So we do that. And then mainstays are now the gluten-free tortillas because they feel so real. Good mouthfeel, I have to say. And then, fake cheeses. I call them fake cheeses. He likes Daya. And the new cheese that is the best, I think, is Chow. CHAO. Tastes like American cheese.
Love.
It is really good.
If y'all go back through the archives, I did a whole thing on cheese platters for Christmas time and evaluated all of these cheeses. And
Chow
to me, follow your heart parm.
Yeah, that's good
like
to follow heart parm. It really is quite good.
Yeah.
So we do, he does a lot of that, and that's been a lifesaver. So you can make a quesadilla, which is neither quesa nor dia. That's what I say. But it's
no
close
queso.
enough. No queso, no dia, but it's close enough.
Right, and it works.
It works.
And it works, which is the great thing. And I think that's one of, going back to 7 years, going back to I don't mean to age myself or my child, but going back, go back 25, 26 years, there's nothing. You guys, I've told you this story before. I had to drive 45 minutes just to get alternative milk products. There was nothing. There were no alternative cheeses, and certainly gluten-free. No one even knew what that was. No, forget it. So now the choices, the free-from choices are all over the place.
They're massive.
And mainstream grocery stores are finally understanding the benefit to carrying free-from products, which is really awesome for kids like Cole, and if my daughter were growing up in this time, it would have been great for her. And even now, she still has gluten issues, and she has a lot of options for gluten-free products, which is fantastic. Yeah. It's a different world. So if you need any guidance or help on that, just send me a note, let me know. It's free. I'll just let you know.
And she'll help you.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is great, Dee. Thank you. Yeah.
It's all good, but we've come a long way. We have a long way to go.
We do.
Especially in restaurants. And you and I have talked about this, and I've told you all this before. Allergy Eats is a great app for restaurants to know what's friendly in your area. I ate at First Watch this week. Have y'all heard of First Watch? It's a national chain. It's a breakfasty kind of place, breakfast lunch. And I asked for my meal to be served with the gluten-free bread. Just because I have a gluten intolerance. I'm not celiac or anything, but I will blow up and look 6 months pregnant if I eat too much gluten. And the woman froze. And she said, do you have a severe gluten issue? Do you have celiac disease? And I said, no, I'm good. You don't need to prepare it on a separate surface. You don't need to wear gloves. It's okay. If I eat a piece of toast, I'm going to blow up like a balloon, and that's not going to be okay for me. And but that they stopped and they asked, and then she went through the whole process. She goes, well, this is what we do. Yeah. And she was so excited to let me know that she knew what to do with people with gluten issues, with celiac, with food allergies. Yeah. And my former company does the training for First Watch, so I know they do a really good job. Allertrain, awesome company. So I know that they were allertrained, and that she was so excited to tell me
to help somebody.
It just makes you feel so much better about
it's that Cole it's not so sensitive for either of my kids that there can't be traces, which is good. So we don't like French fries. French fries has not McDonald's, cannot do those places. But if you specifically ask, is it rolled in wheat? And then they say no, they usually can tolerate it. Yeah. So French fries is also a restaurant staple if we go, depending on the place. So just sharing some of the staples, because sometimes he would just have a plate of French fries. That's all there was. So that's we eat out very rarely, though, because of also that reason, and it's just cheaper and better for me to make it.
It's so much better to eat at home than
it's so much better,
but it's so fun to eat out. And just y'all ignore this, but Big Al's Burgers downtown.
Yes, Big Al's, he does those, and we actually bring in our own buns that are dairy and gluten free and egg free, and they're sealed, and we give them to them, and they'll use that.
Yeah, and I've been in the back of that kitchen, and the way they handle any special requests, they're brilliant.
They are amazing.
They really are.
They seriously, kudos to them, because they are doing such a great job.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, we'll put you in there. They're really
We'll tell them. I had 15 minutes, 14 seconds. I don't know how far we are.
We
talk about you.
We have a staple. They're kind of our staple, too.
Well, I'm very excited that we have a guitar in the house.
We do.
Because Charity is going to bless us with a song.
I'm going to try to.
And I'm so excited about this. I heard her rehearsing earlier, and it was just absolutely lovely and beautiful.
So this is a song I used to sing in LA, and it is called Baby Blue. And I wrote it with my fabulous husband, who does not sing. But I love to, this was usually always in the set list when we played there. You walked in like a star with your beat up Gil guitar and a look on your face like you had something to say. You sat across the room from me and ordered up a B&C and waited for your turn to play. As you set up the stage, I caught you look my way, but as soon as our eyes met, you turned away. You started with a brand new song. It didn't take me long to realize you sang it to me. Baby blue, baby blue, baby blue, the color of your eyes, condition of my was looking for. I wonder sometimes if you were right. As soon as you were through, I wondered if you knew me well enough to know what I was feeling. All the memories erased came crashing like a wave. I sat down 'cause I couldn't stand baby blue, baby blue, baby blue. The color of your eyes, condition of my heart, consequence of you. As you packed up to leave, I thought you looked relieved, like you finally said something you needed to say. You turned to me and smiled, and you whispered a goodbye. I knew that you knew I could still hear you sing, baby, baby blue, baby blue. The color of your eyes, condition of my heart, baby blue, baby blue, baby blue. The color of your eyes, condition of my heart, consequence of you, baby blue, my baby blue.
Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Thank you, Dee. Thank
Oh, my heart. She sings for us every once in a while at
I
book
do.
club.
I-
and,
I-
oh,
I-
it's the same reaction every time.
We get out the piano and play book club. It's a pretty fun time.
Yeah, next book club is at your house too.
Yes, it is.
Ah,
Yes,
so
it
we
is.
have some
They'll
more
be
singing.
singing. They'll be singing.
It'd be great. Well, Charity, thank you so
Thank you.
much
Thank
for
you for
being
having
here
me.
and
Thank
sharing,
you.
and just your story and the comfort that people will glean from that and know that they're not in it alone.
You're
and
not in
that
it alone. No, there's
it's-
many of us.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is
Sadly,
everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere. If y'all want to hop over to iTunes and look up Charity Chapman, she's got a couple things going
do.
on
Welcome.
there.
Yeah.
If you want free tickets to the Nourish Fest, pop over to Aller Cuisine and dollarqueens.com and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll enter a chance to win some free tickets. I think I'm going to give everybody free tickets, just so you know, but don't tell because I could get in trouble for that. But it's just easier that way. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We
Thank
will see you
you.
next week.
Bye-bye.
And have